What's going on, budget players? It's time to show you a deck that I think you should be picking up if you want to try a new competitive deck that is very, very budget, thanks to Maximum Gold Eldorado, as well as a couple other reprints. I'm going to be going through the list, and honestly, right now, not these rarities in my build right now, but you'll see right here, that's how much you can build this deck for. In terms of competitive deck, that's very, very low. And I'll tell you, I mean, right out why that's low. There's no Apo, there's no Savage, but there is the Scrap Engine. You can do things with the Scrap Engine, and that's really freaking cool. And I'll show you as we continue. This won't be a combo video. This will just be the deck profile, but I will, if you guys like it, I will do a combo tutorial of just the basic Dino combo with the budget build without the Borreload Savage and the Apollosa. But let's get started. Alright, so first off, you're going to play your 3 copies of the best normal summon in the deck, Soul Eating Oviraptor. This thing literally does it all for the deck. You search a dino, then you get to pop a dino to summon a dino from grave. Most likely popping baby to summon a baby for your combo. Absolutely incredible card. Next we have the single copy of Miscellaneousaurus. I really hope this thing would one day come back to 3, but for now, this is what we're working with. There are ways to recycle the Misc, and I'll go on later on. I'll explain how you actually recycle the Misc, so you can use his Banish to Summon effect more than once per duel, which is very, very cool. And then to round off the medium dinos, we're playing the copy of Giant Rex. This is the most expensive version, but this version actually just got reprinted as just a single gold rare, so it's like 12 cents now. This is not the version you have to play. I bought this before the reprint, so I kind of got screwed. But yeah, this is Rex. Summon it when it's banished. A lot of things in your deck banished, so you'll be summoning this thing a lot. And surprisingly, this thing can get pretty big when you summon it back. Like, I think I've gotten this up to like 4K, like bigger than Ultimate Conductor. So remember that second effect. It can come in very handy. Next, we're going to go into our baby lineup. We're playing 3 baby Ceratosaurus. The combo piece that makes this deck amazing. You just pop it. When it's popped, you summon a dino from deck. And that may seem simple, but the combos that you can create with this card is just amazing. And then we're playing just a single copy of the Petit Pteranodon. You probably would like barely want to see this card. It's a part of the combo, but like you really don't want to see this in your opening hand. It's kind of a brick. Not really a brick, but it kind of is. You don't want to open it. And then to round up the mini dinos, we're playing 2 copies of Animador and Archosaur. And this is where you're going to see the start of weird semi-dino ratios, where we're just playing 2 of cards because they're good, but we don't want to see them. And if we do, it's like, okay. Animador, we really don't want to see it because we summon it with Misc. But in like some scenarios, you actually do normal summon this, like in old dino builds, you actually would normal summon this pretty often. You actually play this in 3 in old dino builds, but nowadays played at 2. You kind of want to see it, but you also kind of don't. And thanks to the Megatin, because this thing became really cheap. This only became like $5 compared to like the 90 it was before. Next, we'll go into the big guys. We're playing. Now there are 2 of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. This card does everything. It can stop combos on your opponent's turn. Can completely OTK on your own turn. This thing is just so crazy. It's the heart and soul of the deck, and I think this card alone is enough to pick up this deck. It's such an incredible boss monster, and it doesn't come with the extra deck, which is very, very unique for decks nowadays. Like, what do we have nowadays that does that? Like Fluanderies. It's really, really cool. Again, I would never play this as anything but 2 copies. Playing our main deck Kaiju, being Dogron, it's a dinosaur, that's why we play it in the main deck, it's searchable, and Pankratops. This thing is just a great going second card, and you can just even summon off of like Double Evolution Pill, so you definitely should be playing this card. Absolutely versatile. There's a reason this thing is limited, because it's just so generically splashable, so that's why I'm choosing to play this. That's just the big dino ratios, pretty standard big dino ratios. And so something very important with this build, before we go into the dino spells, we're not playing the Pot of Prosperity. And that's very, very weird for a dino deck. You always play Prosperity because you don't really need the extra deck, and you want to find your combo cards. But this is a budget build. We're not going to spend $100 for or $100 per copy of 3 prosperities. Like, we're not going to spend that money. And I'll show you, as we go into these cards, how we're going to fix that remedy. How we're going to remedy that. So we're playing 3 copies of Fossil Dig to start. This is not to remedy it, but this is just generic for the Dino deck. Not once per turn, searching a Dino, 6 or lower. Always gets you your combo pieces. Great Ash Bait. You can play some really cool psychology tricks on your opponent with this card. Great card, for sure. And then we have 2 copies of Pill, another of the Dino Duo cards. Pill is just absolutely incredible. Summon a Dino from deck, ignoring summoning conditions. Summon Ultimate Tyranno. Sometimes summon Dogron if you just need a big beat stick and you're out of Tyrannos. Summon Pankratops to pop a card in your opponent's field. Super versatile. But you don't want to play it at 3 because you brick too often. If you play it at 3, you don't want to play it at 1 because you want to use this more than once per duel. Yeah, there's the 2 Pills. And then we're playing the 3 Terraforming and the the 3 Lost World and the Terraforming. Lost World, of course, is the field spell that you can chain block your Oviraptor. So you summon Oviraptor, chain link 1 Ovi, chain link 2 Lost World, and your Ovi cannot get ashed. You can get Veilered, but that's fine. This summons a token, and you can and then that replacement effect to save to pop a token. Or pop a Dino instead of the token is very, very crucial. I think that's like the coolest thing about this field spell is that replacement effect is so nuts. And of course, then we're gonna move on to the weird part of the deck that was very recent, as of like a year ago, and that is the Scrap Engine. We're playing 2 Raptor, 1 Chimera. Thank you, Maximum Gold. This is no longer like a $50 card; it is a $2 card. And then we have Scrap Golem. I hate this thing. You'll always see this in your opening hand, and you're always gonna cry when you do. But that's just the nature of the game. Orcus players, you know the pain. I know the pain at this point. But this is the ratio. This is a very, very crucial part of the build. Just remember with Scrap Chimera, you can't Synchro Summon with it unless it's a Scrap Synchro. So just be very weary of that. Don't make any dumb plays by Synchro Summoning into something that's not Scrap and then getting a Judge called. And then we're playing a tech card, just because it's it's cheap and like you can have some uses for it. It's just a copy of Lithosagem. It's at 1 copy. I hope for the day this thing gets semi-limited or unlimited. So Diagram becomes live, and this thing you can just play like 2 Lithosagem, 1 Diagram. You actually can find yourselves popping like 2 babies to summon and then rip your opponent's extra deck, which doesn't really matter much in this format, but I still think it's pretty cool. You get like knowledge if you're going game 1 to see what they're playing, so this thing has some uses. I'm probably going to replace this in the future with something a little more useful, maybe another hand trap, but for now, I think it's pretty fine. And then moving on to hand traps, we're playing 2 Ogre, because we're dealing with the adventure format. Pop that, continue a spell. So this is some like field spells that you want to Ogre. And then we're playing 2 copies of Veiler. I was playing this at 3 for a while, but I decided to bring this back to 2, because Veiler's not super good in this format, but it's also not super terrible. This has some uses. It's also a level 1, so you can make a Linkuriboh in like weirdly strange scenarios. It's kind of a sleeper. That's it for the monster hand traps. We're going to move on to the spells that are just generic. We're playing 2 copies of Forbidden Chalice. In case you couldn't tell, I am a fan of the Kali effect, and he talks about this card so much, and I think he's absolutely right. This card is really, really cool. It's Veiler on a quick play spell. Also, its gain 400 effect does come up. Sometimes you just need to get in that little bit of extra damage. Like I was on an empty board. He had 2200 life, literally. Summoned Oviraptor, got out the Imperm, activated Chalice and Damage Step, and swung for game. This card is super underrated, and I think you all should pick it up. While it's like pretty cheap. And then lastly, we're going to go into the 5 generic spell 1-ups. Monster Reborn for Recursion. Upstart Goblin to play a 39 card deck instead of a 40 card deck. Called by the Grave for hand traps. We're actually main decking a single copy of Cosmic Cyclone. This is just really good for matchups where you kind of just want to see Cosmic Cyclone. Even then, it's like pretty good discard fodder for something. I think you should main deck at least 1 copy of a spell trap removal. You can honestly even do MST if you're feeling really, really budget or weird. and nostalgic. But for now, I'm playing a copy of Cyclone. I think it's pretty cool. You actually find a situation where you can banish a Scythe, and then the Scythe block never happens. So it's really cool. I think it's just perfect to main deck Cyclone right now. Just at least a single copy. I might even bump it up to 2 and replace the Lithosagem, just to play 2 main decks, something to stop Scythe, to stop other dumb spell traps. And then lastly, I have my tech card, and I'm going to talk about this card real quickly. This card, Golden Sarcophagus. Perfect for the budget Dino player. This card is super cheap, and it turns... This card is not a really weird wait 2 turns anymore. This card is an extender. You summon... you send Giant Rex with Sarcophagus and summon the Rex, and that's just a free level 4 monster on the field. This card is like really, really cool, and I think it's really, really niche, and I think a lot of people sleep on it. You can't get ashed by it, I don't think. I think you probably could, but no one's going to ash Sarcophagus, because it's Sarcophagus. No one cares. And they also sometimes don't see the Rex play, so it's a really, really cool card. But that is it for the main deck. That's pretty standard Dino cards, with a couple twists for the budget player. And also the cheaper hand traps. Like, we're not playing Ash, we're not playing Imperm. I don't have the money for that. Maybe in the future I'll, like, go bling out and buy some Imperms and Ashes, but for now, that's what I'm working with. But we're going to move on to the extra deck. The extra deck is really, really cool. We got some really cool tech choices. We're not dealing with Apollos and Boral Sword, like I said, so we're going to show a Synchro monster that I think is the perfect for this deck. We're going to start with Xyz, though. We're going to play our copy of Dulcolagia. Now super budget, thanks to, guess what? El Dorado, the Dino player. Heaven. These things are 2 level 4 dinos. This is a monster negate, this is spell trap negate, and a monster summon negate. What can I say? It's perfect for your inboard. Then we're playing some more generic 4s. We have a copy of Abyss Dweller, a copy of Tornado Dragon, Dweller for Graveyard, Tornado for back row, and then we have Ga Cowboy for the game 3. Pretty much, they speak for themselves. They're super generic cards that do really, really well. And then since we're playing a lot of Xyz monsters, I'll say this. This card is not budget. This card is this is a $10 card, but I got very lucky and I pulled it. I'll explain. This is Zeus. Zeus is just very, very cool in this format. Just because it's, you know, a board wipe. Like, that's really, really cool. And even with the dinos, it doesn't proc baby effect, but, like, it's still just a free board wipe. You can't underestimate that. You could probably play some other rank 4s in this deck. You could probably find some sort of another Link or another Synchro that's in the level 8 that's generic, but for now I'm playing the Zeus. I'm very lucky and fortunate, so I'm going to keep using that. Now we're going to talk about the Synchro monster. This Synchro monster is perfect for the Dino deck. That card is Psyframe Lord Omega. I know what you're thinking, yeah, Omega's good, whatever. You're not playing Gamma, you're not playing Driver, so why are you playing this card? It's a Synchro 8. It's generic. And this card is the card that recurs your copy of Miscellaneous Source. Basically what you do is you wait until your opponent's standby phase, put your Miscellaneous Source back in the grave, and then when they start their turn and activate a card, you chain Omega to rip a card from their hand. So you really, this card is perfect for the Dino deck. Just being able to recur Omega and other, like, dinos from the Banished Zone, I think is just really, really versatile. I don't think I'd ever play without this card. I'm so happy I found it when I did, and it's the only reason I play the Scrap Engine. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't even play it, but this is just so worth it. And then moving on to the links, we're playing a pretty standard Link package. We're playing Link Rebo, we're playing Almirage, we're playing a weird card I don't see a lot of people playing, but we're playing a Link Spider. And this Link Spider is there for the Nibiru token. I mean, why not? Just, like, link the token into the spider, link the spider into, you know, the Gardna, which we have here. And the Gardna is pretty much what you make all of these monsters. All of these monsters are for Gardna. And that just gets, like, non-dinosaurs for your double evolution pill. If you're a Dino player, you know what's up. And then we're playing just the scrap card. We're plying Wyvern. Of course, you're playing Wyvern. It's what you go into. It's part of the scrap combo. You need it. And then we're playing a generic Link. We're playing Pente Stag. This is pretty popular choice with Dino builds, just because it can make UCT go from just dealing 1,000 to just dealing really, really devastating piercing attacks, and really, really OTK enabler. I haven't found myself making this, but just because I haven't found the situation where it's been easy to make, but I can see where this can come up. And then, of course, we're just playing a copy of Griffin and Unicorn. Pop Spell Trap, spin a monster or a card on the field. Very, very good. Nothing more to be said. They're generic Link monsters. But that is the deck profile. I really hope you guys pick up this deck. It's super cool. It's super versatile. And I think that it is a great choice. Again, for just that amount of money, that is absolutely ridiculous to have a fully competitive deck. And yeah, again, if you guys like the deck, I'll show some combo tutorials. I have a pretty in-depth combo that ends on like 1 or 2 negates, as well as a hand rip. So yeah, that is the video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video.